Are we recording?
Yeah, this one's going now.
So this was all focused in for you, Brad, yeah?
Yep.
Let's see what difference it makes when I walk in front of the camera then.
Yeah, I might have to make some adjustments.
What do we do on the channel now? I've not been here in 3 weeks. What do we do now?
You just say a random fact you found.
Oh, okay. Well, I wrote 3 articles this week, so I could tell you about the video game Night Trap and how a scream, changed the course of video gaming history. That the lights in Lord of the Rings were magical, or the one that I was going to write today, but decided to do this instead. How Henry Hoovers have never needed to advertise.
What do you think?
ASMR.
Oh, I'm thinking Henry Hoovers.
What do Henry Hoovers?
See how much you remember.
Lord of the Rings. Henry Hoovers.
Okay, so what do you guys know about Henry Hoovers? Start with.
There a Hoover called Henry.
Yeah, and you
Yes.
love them.
Yes. And do you know who makes Henry Hoovers? Do you know the company?
Henry.
No, it's Pneumatic. So it's Pneumatic Industries, and I know this because I bought one.
Are they actually called Henry Hoovers?
No.
Because that's the brand.
Yes, that's the brand. They don't like that. They also don't like the name Hoover. They don't like using that word because we've talked in a previous video many years ago now, that's a genericized term. They call them like Henry vacuums, but they understand that the term Henry Hoover is now a colloquialism in the UK, and it's owned by this really reclusive weirdo who refuses to give interviews and absolutely hates James Dyson.
I was just about to say, maybe we should ask for a Henry Hoover sponsorship, and now you're calling the owner a weirdo.
No, he rarely, if ever, gives interviews, and he still goes to work every single day. According to the article I read, he could be dead for all I know. And maybe fact check that, but when I was researching the article I was going to write today, it's really strange to do this without the work in front of me, but I guess I'll go from memory here. The guy was like, this is the first interview I've ever really done. And one of the first things is, I fucking hate James Dyson.
Well, yeah, he's a rival, isn't he?
He's a rival. Also, he doesn't like the fact that James Dyson is just a huge prick when it comes to the idea of simplicity. Anyone else, have you ever owned a Dyson?
I think my mum had a Dyson.
My mum's got one.
How long did it take to give up the ghost?
Well, they've got one where they have a rechargeable battery, and the battery just doesn't
Yeah.
last at all. They've had to change it already. Also, I feel like I should mention this because this blister that I have on my thumb is from using a Dyson.
You don't have to work with that. So you know what? Dyson, it should be on your middle finger so you can go like that. That's right, that's one from me. And I'm guessing in the comments there'll be plenty of stories of people who bought Dyson Hoovers. They're great, the first year you get them out of the box. Then after the second year, they just stop fucking working, you gotta buy a new one. Henry Hoovers, the story is it couldn't be more different. Those things will last a lifetime. They have a 15-year lifetime guarantee, and many of them will work for much longer than that. And there are stories out there of people who own these things for 30, 40 years. Like my grandma, for example. This is why I was familiar with Henry, because I was a little kid going to a house. There's a Hoover with a fucking face on it. She'd had that thing, I think it was like a wedding gift in the fucking 80s or something like that, and it was still working.
Jesus.
10, 15 years later, and she still had it when she passed away in the 2000s, and it still fucking works. My mum had it before it got relegated to the garage, and it still works. So here's one of the things that make Henry so different of you have the idea of a bagless Hoover. This is probably really not interesting to a lot of people, but I find it fascinating. Henry Hoovers can have a bag, and they recommend you use the bag, but you don't have to. And in fact, if you don't have the bag in there, you can hoover up pretty much anything. And there are stories out there of people hoovering up gravel, water. You can use it, if you spill water on the floor, you can hoover it up with your Henry, and then just pour the Hoover into the bin. That's it, you can hoover up near enough anything. And all the parts are really easily replaceable, because it's made of only 200 parts. Only 30 of which actually move or something like that. And according to the guy who made Henry Hoovers, which I would know the name of if I were out of my article here, but he said the very first prototype Henry would have parts that are compatible with ones made today. And Henry Hoover is one of those products where it is a product for everybody. For example, Princess Diana and Prince Charles got one as a gift on their wedding. There was one spotted during lockdown in 10 Downing Street. Do you remember the whole joke when they spent all that money setting up that press pit at 10 Downing Street and it looked like shit and it cost £500,000? In that photo was a little Henry in the corner.
Of course.
And there were jokes there of Henry's going to take over. Put Henry in charge.
Oh, Prime Minister Henry.
Prime Minister Henry, that's the thing. And that's the thing. He's found in households across the UK, regardless of socio-economic status. Henry's always there and he will continue to work for over 10 years. Despite this, it's a literal household name, They have never spent a single, there's a fruit fly there, Pneumatic have never spent a single penny on advertising, ever. And they don't have a PR company on retainer because they don't need one.
So I guess the product spoke for itself from the start and still has to this day.
Yep. They have never needed to do a single bit of advertising because the quality of the product and its ubiquitousness and its iconicness, like the little face on the Henry, has just sold it for it.
Like you said, he's just everywhere.
Yeah,
like,
it's Henry.
Info's in the corner, in the background, kind of a bit like Slenderman.
I'm just like Bigfoot or George Lucas. Have you ever heard about that?
Oh no.
Like George Lucas, like near exclusively now, only appears in the background of photos, blurry. So there's like a room that is actually big. He's got a Bigfoot disease because he's always blurry in photos. Because that's the thing about they've never paid for any advertising, and they are so supremely hard wearing. They can be guaranteed to work for like 10 to 15 years. They're one of like the few products left where you can buy it and pretty much be guaranteed to own it for life if you look after it. My Hoover, I've got like a little drivey Hoover. It's not a
drivey Hoover.
Not a Roomba, but it's like a knockoff Roomba brand that was pretty highly rated on Amazon. And the first one got fucking nicked. That was annoying. But
Someone nicked your Roomba?
It was so annoying.
Did it wander out the room?
No.
Did it just run away?
No, and that thing is shit. First thing it did, I put it on and I left the house to go shopping. Come back in and I say, beep, beep, beep. Beep. Where the fuck is that? My house is still dirty. I look and it knocked over a broom. So it knocked over another cleaning utensil, locked itself in a corner, gone around in a circle till it died. Okay, maybe I'll put all the brooms away. Turn it back on. Beep, beep, beep. What the fuck is going on now? I'll go in. It's hoovered up one of my wires. Fair enough, my fault. Clean all my wires up. Beep, put it on, go into the room it's wedding. Beep, beep, beep. The fuck is going on? I go in the room, it's in the middle of a square because my kitchen has a light. The light source comes in and it's infrared. So when it goes into the light and so it's bathed in infrared light, it thinks it's trapped.
On reference.com. Red wigglers are a misspelling of red wigglers occurring
What?
In the middle of Carl's story, Alexa started talking about red wigglers.
Alexa, stop. Anyway, and it thought it was trapped underneath my sofa. I'm like, fuck's sake. So I've got wait till there's no sun, turn it back on. First thing it does, straight under my sofa, gets stuck. And do you know what it does when it does it? Beep, beep, beep. It's like, fuck! Oh, now its battery's dead. So now I turn it on, and I know how it works now, put it into a room. After 5 minutes, beep, beep, beep. It's like, Henry's going to, do you know what the first thing I'll do with Henry? Fucking use it to bash that shit downstairs.
I don't think I've ever heard a good story about a Roomba.
The only thing I've seen is those notifications people get where it's like, you can name it. And then it says so-and-so is stuck on a cliff or something. Like dramatic and he's just stuck on a step.
It's like, the other story I know is one from Markiplier where his Roomba painted his floor in shit.
Oh my god,
It's
yeah.
like, I've never heard a good story, apart from in Hocus Pocus 2.
There's no Roomba in that.
Yeah, because me and my mum watched Hocus Pocus like a week before the new one came out. And I was saying, I bet you they're going to do another joke with, because in the first one, she flew a vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
And I said, I bet they're going to do a joke in the second one, I bet it's a Roomba. And then I watched the trailer, and there was a Roomba in it. And the Roomba, I thought it was just a one-off gag. Oh no, it's integral to the story. The Roomba frees the witches.
I think that my Roomba sucks, or my knockoff Roomba, it sucks so much ass.
You need a witch Roomba.
No, I need a fucking Henry. I need Henry. It's coming in. Also, we plug stuff now, right?
Oh yeah, we try and plug stuff,
Okay, watch, I guess the Untitled Side channel. Go check it out.
Great plug, Carl. You can tell you're not used to doing this.
I don't like plugging stuff.
Pick a video, plug a video.
Oh.
Like one of your series.
Then we can link it if you point to your upper left, where you're looking now, you can put a video there.
I guess one of those early ones I put up, from the archives. Or maybe like one of my For Fact's Sake, just 'cause I'm proud of the name. Like, For Fact's Sake, so if you want some commonly asked questions about the channels, as where I get my ideas from, or how the channel came to be, or how I open a bottle of beer with anything. So, those questions and more are all answered on the side channel, which you can support via Patreon. To go on Patreon. That's how it's done.
Plug more stuff.
No.
So you managed to plug in less than a minute. It took me about 5 minutes to do a plug.
That's because he's the professional.
Yes.
They're
I can't
professionally
speak.
unprofessional.
Well, I think this is probably the first one of you coming. Obviously, we're going to do a proper announcement, but this is the first one of you coming back.
Yes.
Because we've just started filming some today. I do not want to see the comment section with it. We're so glad you're back, Carl. The other guys were losers.
Well, that annoys me because I've always considered you guys to be an integral part of the channel. I know it was like Fact Fiend with Karl Smallwood, which we're probably going to change at some point now we're all in front of the camera. That's only because I wrote and researched everything. But, you know, as time has gone on and during my break, I've realised that, you know, me taking on all of that responsibility is kind of the reason I had to take the break. And like, there's 4 of us here, and we can divide that workload more evenly, so it doesn't, like, you know, result in me just every 5 years being like, like, do you ever see like when you're in the shower and you just think this is it? Like, do you know when you got a hangover and you're in the shower, you're just like, that was me like 3 days on the bounce, and so like, I need to take a break. I did it one day. I got an extra shower just to stand like that. I just need. I didn't stand under the hot water long enough, just going, whew.
It's just been annoying me that people keep saying we miss Karl, but then saying that we're too much like Karl. It's like, what do you want?
No, you'll never please the internet.
No.
Joe, you'll also never please. Fucking like my Roomba thing. It's never happy. Like, I've never let someone be in my house for as long as that Roomba's been in that complains as much as it does.
I think the best thing I've seen about Roombas is when cats sit on them.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
All of that one where someone's got 2 Roombas in the house. Like, so we've got 2 levels, and one Roomba goes on top of the other one and just starts spinning to assert dominance.
Can you attach weapons to them and make them fight like robot ones?
I've seen people put balloons on the back and a knife on the front and just play out Mario Kart. Or you have that like shit post about like fill your house with 16 Roombas, connect it to your Alexa, and then you just say when you get a burglar and put knives on the front of all of them, and when like, you know, a burglar breaks in, just say Alexa start like, you know, lockdown protocol, and it just releases all the Roombas and plays the Doom soundtrack at max volume.
It's like Iron Man 3, the house party protocol. All the Roombas are released.
The worst bit is though when I'm working, it just smashes the back of my ankles like 15 times in a row. It's like, it's clean!